Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, welcome back to me and Sarha from class TBI 30. Here I would like to complete my assessment of stylism in speaking class. Here I will explain about the use of skip technique to increase students' self-confidence in speaking. For the next, you have to listen very well and check it out. Point A. Introduction. Showing the reason why the research was conducted. Speaking has strong correlation with self-confidence. Sometimes students feel nervous when they begin to speak because most of them worry to make a mistake in using English and worry to might by their friends. It causes the student afraid to speak in English and it will influence their confidence to speak in English. There are some factors that make students are worried and afraid to speak in English. For example, from their environment such as friends and teachers. When the student make a mistake in using their English, sometimes their friend will mock them and it really influences the student mental. And it causes the student afraid to deliver their idea in English. The research why the research was conducted. In practicing English, most of the students worry to practice one by one. Sometimes when the teacher asks them one by one, they just keep silent. But when the teacher asks without pointing one by one, most of the students will answer by logic. It means based on this fact, the students are more confident to speak in English together than one by one. So in order to solve this problem, the writer chose skip technique to increase student confidence in speaking. Skip, as explained in dictionary, is a short piece of humorous writing. Short play, mimicking, and making fun of something or somebody and skip is a single dramatic joke or bit. Point B. Identify the author's question or problem. Author question: what is self-confidence? Self-confidence is not a motivational perspective by itself. It is a judgment about capabilities for accomplishment of some goals, and therefore it must be considered within a broader conceptualization of motivation that provides that goals context. Self-confidence also brings about more happiness. Typically, when you are confident in your abilities, you are happier due to your success. Also, when you are feeling better about your capabilities, the more energized and motivated you are to take action and achieve your goals. Self-confidence may increase gradually. The student may begin to speak loudly and clearly, may develop positive relationship with peers, and may begin to use appropriate movement. Begin to look up at the audience rather than looking elsewhere due to nervous. If you know what to do and also know that you are capable of doing it, you are likely to feel confident. If you are sure about how to prepare and deliver a speech, for example, you will feel confident about public speaking. It means that before we show something, we measure the skill of ourselves first, and if we feel capable of doing it, then we feel confident. So, based on the explanation above, it can be seen that when considering an individual's beliefs about his or her ability concerning a specific task or a set of tasks, while self-confidence is more often referred to as broader and more stable trait concerning an individual perceptions of overall cap skill. By having self-confidence, it will help the individual and the student to increase and implement their abilities. There are so many kinds of techniques that can be used to teach English, especially to increase student skill in speaking. Skip technique will help the student to use language as a form of communication and conversation. Through skip technique, the student will listen to and repeat the same word and phrases and repetitions. From this explanation, it can be seen that skip technique is a fun technique that can motivate students in learning English, especially to increase their confidence to speak English. Many studies focus on students in school. In general, students who perform will have increased confidence, which likely in turn to encourage students to take greater responsibility to successfully complete tasks. Students who perform better receive more positive evaluation report and greater self-confidence. Low-achieving students report this confident and high-performing students report higher self-confidence. Teachers can greatly affect the self-confidence of their students depending on how they treat them. There are some characteristics of high self-confidence that having by every individual. It can be seen from the explanation page 38, right, that describe the characteristic of high self-confidence has certain characteristic of those who have high self-esteem and confident in their skill to aspect the journey of their life. These factors are universal and can be learned if they are not present in your life right now. Number one, they are ambitious. They want more from a life than existence or survival, so they can invest themselves in better circumstances and surroundings. So number two, they are goal-oriented. They seek a challenge of completing and setting new goals for themselves. So they are not especially competitive except against themselves. They enjoy breaking their own records. So number three, they have learned to communicate. They know how to ask for what they want and to hear advice and counsel. It is less important for them to be right than to be effective. They listen more than they speak. So number four, they are loving and kind. These people will have a good inner self-image for nourishing relationship instead of toxic ones. So they have learned to detach from relationships which do not allow them to be authentic. So number five, they are attractive and open to others. Self-confident people are usually drawn to one another. They vibrate their confidence in a way that attracts good things and good people to them. Being attractive does not necessarily mean physically attractive in the usual sense of the word, but rather spiritually beautiful. So, point C, summary this author's theoretical framework. From Canford, 1990 provides an example of one cognitively based framework of motivation for such discussion. She suggests that motivation is composed of two components, goal choice and self-regulation. Speaking skill is one of important skills that must be mastered by the student, but some of the students are still worried and afraid to speak in English. To speak in English alone because they worry to make a mistake and worry to mock by their friends. So, from Loma 2004.1 state that speaking skill is an important part of the curriculum in language teaching, and it makes them as an important object of assessment as well. In speaking English, every student must have self-confidence to share their ideas and their opinions without worry to make mistakes. That is the reason why self-confidence is really needed and important in speaking English. So by having self-confidence, the students have more positive effect in their learning process, in communication and in their relationship. Why must the student be able to speak in English? From Baker 2003.5 state that more and more indicators government, ministries of education and employees need people who are able to speak English well. So from Kelly 1989.3 state that one main reason we feel confident in some situations is what we know the skill to perform the behaviors that are important in the situations. It means that before we show something, we measure the skill of ourselves first, and if we feel capable of doing it, then we will feel confidence. So from William Kessler, 2017, in his article explained that one of the techniques is skit techniques. In order to convey the message, suggest way to teach the theory concept is by teaching through the use of skits or role playing. One of the techniques that can be used to increase students' self-confidence in speaking is skit techniques. So this technique is simple and easy to be implemented at school in order to motivate the student speak a lot in English. Point D, explain the method used by the author. The kind of research that had been done was an experiment research that used quantitative data, while experiment research was a research that had been manipulation to be variable research or free variable, then offset the effect to research object the variable was observed. So number one, the sampling procedure. There are 46 students at the 8th grade of MTS Darul Islam Juri. The sample technique that used is a dung research. So number two, the research instrument in order to get the data. The writer gave questionnaire to the student to know about the characteristic of students' confidence. So number three, the data collection and analysis. In this research, the data will be analyzed by a statistical method. Student score at the experimental and control class would be used as the data of the research. So number 4, the data presentation. The researchers present the data in order to know the student confident in speaking at a grade of MTSW is duty. In the data presentation, the writer attach the data of the student confidence that differentiates on control class and experiment class. So number 5, the data analysis. In analyzing the student's confidence, the writer applies descriptive statistics. It is concerned the development of certain indicators from the raw data. Point E, explain the author finding and citation from author. So based on the data, the mean of post-test control was 31.9. It means that the level category of post-test control is low confident. And the mean of post-test experiment was 52.3. It means that the level category of post-test experiment was high confidence. From the data, it can be seen that the table LSD value 2101 plus 12 and 4, 6 and 6. It means that skill technique was done in experiment class. So for the suggestions from all of theories and explanation from article, it can be seen that self-confidence is really needed in every part of our life, starting from home until outside of home. Especially in school environment, the student really needs self-confidence to show their skill in their subject. So when the students have good self-confidence, they will have good relationship and communication with their environment, and they will motivate to increase their skill in their academic life. So to face English subject where the student must have some abilities and skill in English. One of the abilities in English that need self-confidence in speaking. Okay, I think that's all from my explanation from the article about the use key technique to increase student self-confidence in speaking. If I have mistake, I say sorry. I hope you to understand from my explanation. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.